what's going on? This is Sunshine.
And this is E.
Hey, what's going on?
We are listening, or we're getting ready to do another reaction. This is a comedy one. It's another George Carlin.
George can't get enough of George. Go ahead.
So, anyway, and this was on death penalty. So, before we get into this, do you have anything you want to?
No, I'm just excited to listen to George. Like I said, it's always new, it's always different. So, we're gonna check this out and see what happens.
Okay, yeah. So, but before we get into listening to him, we want you all to hit that like button.
Right.
That one right down there. So yeah, hit that one and follow us on our journey that we're still trying to reach. So here we go.
Same way we made up the death penalty. We made them both up, sanctity of life and the death penalty. Aren't we versatile? And in this country now, there are a lot of people who want to expand the death penalty to include drug dealers. This is really stupid. Drug dealers aren't afraid to die. They're already killing each other every day on the streets by the hundreds.
Right.
Drive-bys, gang shootings, they're not afraid to die. Death penalty doesn't mean anything unless you use it on people who are afraid to die. Like the bankers who launder the drug money. Who launder the drug money. Forget the dealers. You want to slow down that drug traffic, you got to start executing a few of these fucking bankers. White, middle-class, Republican bankers. And I'm not talking about soft American executions like lethal injection. I'm talking about fucking crucifixion, folks. Let's bring back crucifixion, a form of capital punishment the Christians and Jews of America can really appreciate. And I'd go a little further. I'd crucify people upside down. Like St. Peter, feet up, head down, and naked. I'd have naked upside down crucifixions on TV once a week at halftime of the Monday night football game. The Monday night crucifixions. You'd have people tuning in don't even care about football. Wouldn't you like to hear Dan Deerdorf explain why the nails have to go in at a certain angle? And I'll guarantee you one thing, you start nailing one white banker per week to a big wooden cross on national TV, you're going to see that drug traffic begin to slow down pretty fucking quick. Pretty fucking quick. You won't even be able to buy drugs in schools and prisons anymore. Now, I don't care about capital punishment one way or another, because I know it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything except maybe satisfy a kind of biblical need for revenge. If you read the Bible, you see that it's full of retribution and revenge. So really, capital punishment is kind of a religious ritual. It's a purification rite. It's a modern sacrament. And as long as that's true, I say, let's liven it up a little. I honestly believe if you make the death penalty a little more entertaining and learn to market it correctly, you just might be able to raise enough money to balance the stupid fucking budget. And don't forget, the polls show the American people want capital punishment and they want a balanced budget. And I think even in a fake democracy, people ought to get what they want once in a while, just to feed this illusion that they're really in charge. Let's use capital punishment the same way we use sports and television in this country to distract people and take their minds off how bad they're being fucked by the upper 1%. Now, Unfortunately, Monday Night Football doesn't last long enough. What we really need is year-round capital punishment on TV every night with sponsors. Gotta have sponsors. I'm sure as long as we're killing people, Marlboro Cigarettes and Dow Chemical will be proud to participate. Balance the stupid fucking budget. And let me say this to you, my interesting Judeo-Christian friends, not only do I recommend crucifixions, I'd be in favor of bringing back beheadings. Beheadings on TV, slow motion, instant replay. And maybe you could let the heads roll down a little hill and fall into one of 5 numbered holes. Let the people at home gamble on which hole the head is going to fall into. And you do it in a stadium so the mob can gamble on it too. Raise a little more money. And if you want to expand the violence a little longer to sell a few more commercials, instead of using an axe, you do the beheadings with a handsaw. Hey, don't bail out on me now, goddammit. The blood is already on our hands. All we're talking about is a matter of degree. You want something a little more delicate? We'll do the beheadings with an olive fork. That would be nice, and it would take a good goddamn long time. There's a lot of good things we could be doing. When's the last time we burned someone at the stake? It's been too long. Here's another form of capital punishment. Comes out of a nice, rich religious tradition. Burning people at the stake. Sponsor, Bridgeford Charcoal. And you put it on TV on Sunday mornings. The Sunday morning evangelicals send us an offering, praise Jesus, human bonfire. You don't think that would get big ratings? In this sick fucking country? Shit, you'd have people skipping church to watch this stuff. And you take the money they send in the offerings and you use it to balance the budget. What about boiling people in oil? Boy, those were the days, weren't they? You get the oil going real good, you know, a nice high rolling boil, and then slowly at the end of a rope, you lower the perpetrator head first into the boiling oil. Huh? You talk about fun shit. And just to encourage citizen participation, you let the mob in the stadium control the speed of the rope. Good, clean, wholesome family entertainment. The kids will love it. The kids will love it. And at the same time they're enjoying themselves, we're teaching them a nice Christian moral lesson. Boiling people in oil. Sponsor, Crisco. And maybe instead of boiling all these guys, every now and then you could French fry a couple of them, you know? French fried felons, dip a guy in egg batter just for a goof, you know? Kind of a tempura thing, huh? Jeffrey Dahmer never thought of this shit, did he? Jeffrey Dahmer, eat your heart out. Which is an interesting thought. All right, enough nostalgia. What about some modern forms of capital punishment? How about we throw a guy off the World Trade Center and whoever he lands on wins the Publishers Clearinghouse? Okay, something a little more sophisticated. You dip a guy in brown gravy and lock him in a small room with a Wolverine who's high on angel dust. There's one guy's not going to be fucking with too many kids at the bus stop for a while, huh? Here's something really nice you could do. You shoot a guy out of a high-speed catapult right into a brick wall. Trouble is, it would be over too quick. No good for TV, you know. You'd have to do a whole bunch of guys right in a row. Rapid fire capital punishment. 15 catapults. While you're shooting off one, you're loading up the others. Of course, every now and then you would have to stop to clean off the wall. Cleanliness, right next to godliness. All right, high tech. I sense some of yous are waiting for high tech. I got it. You take a small tactical nuclear weapon and stick it up a guy's ass. A thermonuclear suppository. Preparation H-bomb. You talk about fallout, huh? Or you take the bomb and you stick it just inside that little hole on the end of a guy's dick, you know? Yeah, a bomb in the dick. When it goes off, the guy wouldn't know whether he was coming or going. Get out of here. I got you. Hey. Listen.
Woo.
George,
Carlin, man. I mean, I've never really seen anybody or heard anybody that does comedy like he does. He don't hold any punches. He goes straight for the gusto. I mean, he says some. If you think, I mean, some of the stuff, a lot of stuff he says makes sense.
Right.
There's some cruel nature things.
Yeah, but I think he was doing that for a reason, let people understand about, the death penalty, how the people view it. And he always based, come about religion and how most of the people that are running these, institutions that are running these, death chambers or whatever are people that consider themselves good-hearted Christians. So a lot of stuff he has some dialogue that's kind of making you think. And it's just like him saying about bringing about, balancing the budget. And it's really a crack on the fact that they continue to get money from us and everybody, and they still can't budget. But so it's almost like a running joke of, maybe use that to balance the budget. But that's the thing about the death penalty. There's just so many. It's all over the world. There's so many people that use it in different ways, and everybody think they're doing the right thing, and they feel comfortable with it. Whether you believe in it or not, it's just the cruelty to it. But people are like, hey, we're good-hearted people. We're killing folks like that. But so I guess it all depends on what you feel about the death penalty.
I guess that's how they make yourself convince themselves, like you said, that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, because I think even with the lethal injection, I don't know if it's still like this or it's all around the people that use it, where they have it set up where they have 2 or 3 people that actually push a button. Only really one of them is kill them, so nobody would know. Because there's people that actually have issues after being involved with killing someone. They mentally, it messes with them.
Right.
And so this is something they came up with, and I don't know if they initially came up with it or later on they came up with it, but they had some of them, I don't know if it's all of them, they would have several people actually pushing the button. No one knows who
actually.
So it's kind of, but if you feel like you should need to do this, you should be strong enough to stand behind it. But that's America for you.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So tell us what you think.
Yeah,
we have a lot of George Carlin fans that seem to follow us, which is great. So we love hearing from you guys on what you think of this particular.
And you can hear a ton of his stuff because none of his stuff seems to be dated. He mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer. And there's a couple other things he mentioned that might make it seem dated, but you wouldn't really know. That's what's great about his comedy, that you can listen at any time. That's one thing I noticed about a lot of his comedy is it's comedy. It's not, because you can easily go off the current events. A lot of times it might be a little easier to make jokes on what's currently going on because everybody's in that moment. But to bring up something that's, just off the cuff, man, he's just excellent at that, and he can puts a package together. It's a routine. It's not just a bunch of jokes. It's routines. That's what I really like about it. He sets up the joke and all that. He's fabulous, excellent comedy.
Yeah. It's pretty strong comedy that he does. I did notice something else about George. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you picked this up. I didn't pick it up until just now.
Okay.
He's always wearing black. Is that his?
Well, I never really necessarily noticed that, but I did notice the fact that you look at his stage, his clothes. He's not for the frills. It's his comedy that's going to hold the day. So he doesn't rely on fire flaming up in the bag,
Right.
And he doesn't rely on lights, and his name's not huge in the background. He's not wearing these expensive clothes. Like he
just average clothes.
Wally World and picked out outfits and came. So he's saying it's all about his comedy. It's not about all the other stuff, and he still holds the day.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of things I noticed when comics do routines. Sometimes I heard a comic say that sometimes you do a joke you think a kill, and it might not do that well. Sometimes you just throw a joke in to keep it going, and people go crazy over it. But a true comedian does that routine, and it doesn't falter if a joke doesn't hit like he thinks. Mm-hmm. Like he said some stuff I thought was real funny, but the crowd kind of jiggled a little bit, but he kept moving on. That's a mark of a professional, and just keep moving and do his routine.
Yeah. So we like to thank you for listening, and hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed already, which you should. Thank you for those who are. And comment, of course. But also, like I said, biggest thing also to like and subscribe. So anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, again, thank you for listening to Sunshine and E.